Good morning. Hi, everybody, particularly to our young audience here. Is it good if we continue in English? Okay, thank you so much. It's with great pleasure that we are here today, all three of us, because when we started writing Reaching for the Stars, we always thought it was a book about the magic of science, and it's a particular pleasure when we were invited by the Jaipur Literature Festival, and we're very, very thankful to Namita Gokhale and her colleagues for having us here. So thank you so much. I would like to initially just request Pallav to introduce Dr. Annadurai here, because he's the wonder man of India's satellites and space programs, the person behind not just the Mars mission that all of you have been hearing about, but also the Moon mission and Chandrayaan. And I'm going to request Pallav first to introduce Dr. Annadurai.
Good morning, friends. Such a pleasure to see so many bright faces early morning. It's hard to get people to book sessions. And at Jaipur, to see such a lovely crowd early morning really enthuses people like me who live a life of communicating complex science. Subhadra didn't introduce herself. I will start with that. Subhadra Menon, she is a well-known speaker, an author both with Penguin and with Bloomsbury and HarperCollins. Well-known person in the area of health sector. She works largely with health communication, and some of her work in that is considered very landmark. A disclosure, we are married, she is my wife, and we tried to reach for the stars together. And we'll take you on that incredible journey which India has had from taking rockets on cycles, and you'll find those pictures in the book, to now sending such large rockets which can carry satellites up to the weight of 4 tons, just 4,000 kilograms. It's an incredible journey. It is a journey which you and I have both undertaken, largely or fully funded by you. It's the taxpayer who's paying for it. And every taxpayer needs to know where the money is going. And with ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, one can say with certain strength that the money has been well spent. We'll come to that in the session. My name is Pallav Bagla. Some of you may not know me, so I'll give you a little introduction about myself as well. I am a journalist, and I work and write for the Science magazine from Washington, D.C. for the last 20 years. In the last 7 years, I have been the science editor at New Delhi Television, communicating both in English and Hindi for the television audience. And since I have covered lot of launches, lot of satellite making, lot of missile launches, I have been to places where very, very few cameras ever go. And we have been told several times, this is the first time a journalist is being led in here with a camera or a journalist in person, and this will be the last time. That's the kind of insight we've had in writing this book. On the note which was there, it wasn't mentioned that there would be a real Poplu. And for this session, we are pleased to have Dr. M. Annadurai. Annadurai is a satellite engineer at the Indian Space Research Organization. He's had an amazing journey. I'll come to that during the session. I don't want to reveal everything right now. All I can say initially is that he has spent more than 3 decades making satellites. from a point when India was denied technology from the West, even then, Annadurai was making satellites, to now, when even NASA is wanting to partner with India, he still continues to make satellites, and he does India proud. He made, among his many, many achievements, Dr. Annadurai was the project director for India's first satellite which went to the moon, Chandrayaan-1, in 2008. Amazing journey. Everybody thought there's no need to go to the moon. Americans went there in 1969. Why go there in 2008? Annadurai delivered a satellite, and very much un-Indian, on time and within cost. Very, very few Indian organizations can say that they'll have an on-time delivery and no cost overruns. Since 2008, he has made many more satellites. Now he heads the small satellite and other programs. But the most interesting satellite which he made recently, the program he headed, was India's maiden mission to Mars. India made global history by reaching Mars in its first attempt. No other country, not even America, not Russia, reached Mars in their first attempt. And Mars is not like Bikaner or Jaipur, Delhi, or it's 200 million kilometers away. And you need to aim it absolutely right to reach there. Again, a satellite which was delivered in record time and within cost. Dr. Annadurai. Please, a hand of applause for this very worthy soul from India. He's trained at a small engineering college. Believe me, and I'm not telling lies. He's not gone to an IIT. Many people who go to IITs and train there as engineers end up selling soap, or they end up on the Wall Street or on Dalal Street. It's some of our best engineers from regional colleges who are making India proud. And I'll come to that a little later. So we are pleased to have Dr. Annadurai. He is flown in all the way, making time from his very busy schedule in Bangalore. There are several satellite launches. And you know, within a day, President Barack Obama is coming. And one of the things on the agenda is a deal on satellites. And I'm sure Annadurai would have a lot to contribute in that. I have known Dr. Annadurai for a very long time. An amazingly humble man. And believe me, guys, you are blessed to have him in the midst of yourself. A little bit of self-advertisement. The book is available in the Amazon stall. If you guys want to pick up, don't get it signed by me and Subhadra. The real hero is Dr. Annadurai. You'll be able to catch me many times. Catching him is very difficult. He lives within very secure walls. Reaching inside the satellite center is a real steeplechase, a hurdle. You have to cross many, many barriers. He's here available. Make use of him, talk to him, get his autograph, get him to sign the book. He is a real hero. Beyond this, I will let Subhadra take the session forward. And I also thank Namita and the organizers at the Jaipur Literary Festival to find place for a book on science. In a lit fest, to get a place for an Indian book on science is very rare, and we are obliged. Thank you.
Thanks, Pallav. I just wanted to say that, when we started thinking about writing Reaching for the Stars, it was more like a dream for us also. Because in India, as an author, it's difficult to start thinking about a narrative which is about what seemingly is very, very dry as a subject. So satellites, clean rooms at ISRO. ISRO has several institutes across the country. Dr. Annadurai works from the headquarters in Bangalore, but there is the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center in Thiruvananthapuram. There are laboratories in Ahmedabad and Hyderabad and several other places. And the challenge was, how do we tell this story in a way that it will interest people? And very similar is the feeling when one sees all of you here, and it's so good to be here and share that dream with you, because my sense is that we always underestimate our own audiences and our communities. I work in the area of health, and even in health we do that, you know, we always think that people may not be interested. But when we found interest, particularly from a wonderful person called Suresh Gopal, who is the publisher of special projects at Bloomsbury, India. Suresh called Pallav after he saw his reportage on NDTV and said that I think this is a wonderful subject for us to write about. And, you know, having written books earlier, I thought, okay, so it's going to be another book where we're going to try and narrate something which is complex, something which is pure science and technology and, you know, takes India into deep space. And we're going to try and make it interesting. But I still didn't know. And that's where I think Bloomsbury's been wonderful. They allowed the usage of a large number of pictures. And there is nothing like the visual to tell a story. And despite being an author, I'm saying that, that beyond words, it is the picture or the visual that makes the difference. But another journey that began for us during that time was, you know, just getting to know the Indian Space Research Organization. Because we were writing about the Mars mission, and believe you me, I think the kind of euphoria we saw across the country on the 24th of September 2014, with Prime Minister Modi clapping like a young child, I think he was also so excited, and so was everyone else, because this was different from all the other missions that ISRO has undertaken in the past. It was a leap of faith in many ways, because it was long distance, it was deep space, it was interplanetary. We'd never done something interplanetary before. And it was really, really cost effective. As Narendra Modi himself said, he said, you know, the Hollywood movie Gravity has cost more than the Mars mission for India. And I think that is really what makes India. And at ISRO, it doesn't mean cutting corners on quality. It does not mean that, okay, we're going to manage in $100 and we'll somehow do something. It's about excellence. And that's where I'm going to request Dr. Annadurai to talk to us about how do they manage this. Each time, every time. They manage with rockets. They manage this success with communication satellites. Today, you and I are communicating because of this huge bevy of satellites that are out there in space. And when we started writing the book, I first went to Trivandrum, which is really the cradle of the Indian space program, because so many decades ago, this wonderful trailblazer called Vikram Sarabhai said that that's where we're going to be, that's where we're going to start. There were several reasons why they were going to start there. But as chance would have it, a lot of the space program development has happened towards south of the Vindhyas. And I'm sure there are many advantages of being there. And what one also discovered while writing the book, and we've tried to in some way capture that, is that there is a magic formula in the way ISRO is run, you know. It's incredible. It's just people like you and me. It's very ordinary people. But they are treasured. They are looked after. There is a fantastic human resource policy that is at work in that organization. Dr. Annadurai will hold testimony to this, that most youngsters join ISRO as their first job. As Pallav was saying, these are humble colleges and institutes and engineering colleges which are just, across the country. And these people come there as their first job and often retire from there. And they do great work and they're happy, they're well looked after. Even after they retire, many of our very senior people who've been chairpersons, who've been leaders of various programs have remained there to help and advise. But coming back to the Mars mission per se, what I found while writing this book was that, it's not dry at all as a subject. It's fascinating how there are teams and teams of people who are working on putting together a satellite in 15 months?
Yeah.
15 months flat. Most of us don't achieve anything in 15 months. We just, think and rethink on our deadlines. So for all these people, it was a roller coaster ride. And I think that ride continues because Mangalyaan is still there. Its data collection is on and a lot of information is expected from it. One of the biggest mysteries for me was that I was told that, communication itself between ground and the satellite is going to take about 25 minutes one way. 25 minutes one way. So I'm saying hi to you and then 25 minutes baad, you're going to say, okay, hi Subhadra. In today's day and age when, our kids, my daughter WhatsApps me and within 30 seconds if I don't respond, she's like, okay, I sent you a message. So here are these people and there are huge data gathering machines and laboratories in Bangalore, elsewhere, using huge antennae that are working all the time, 24 hours. So the autonomy to me was a fantastic thing about this satellite. The women involved was a fantastic thing. I think for a lot of you on the 24th of September, you would have been, excited by this beautiful image of women with jasmine in their hair, wearing Kanjivaram saris, excited, and they're all scientists. They were right there. So these are the magic moments that we've tried very much to capture. Of course, our book came out just at the time of the final docking in of Mangalyaan. So there are many more stories to tell. But I'm now going to request Dr. Annadurai to talk to us about this magic. Because for him, it must have been surely magical, but also very challenging. Every day, I remember Dr. Arunan, who's also one of the key satellite persons under this project, who said that, for 15 months, I just went home for my prayers and to just recharge quickly and come back. He was sleeping at the satellite center. So these are the stories of the people who've been involved with the satellite. And then after Dr. Annadurai speaks, we'll also open up for you all to have a chat. But Pallav's just telling me that there's a short video that we'll first play, after which we will hand over to Dr. Annadurai.
Some of you may not be familiar with the way the mission unfolded. This is a short animation, about a minute and a half, made by New Delhi Television for our own audiences. I'll play that animation and you can enjoy the ride right from Sriharikota, which is in Andhra Pradesh, all the way 20 crore kilometers, all the way to Mars, and completely Indian. Can we have the animation, please? The rocket that carried India's first unmanned satellite to Mars was as high as a 15-story building and weighed nearly 320 tons, the weight of about 50 full-grown elephants. One after the other, 4 stages of the rocket ignited, taking Mangalyaan higher into space. The Mangalyaan first made several revolutions around the Earth as it gathered enough velocity, and then it was shot onwards to Mars on its long journey. It took nearly 9 months to cover the over 200 million kilometers to reach its destination near the Red Planet. Once Mangalyaan is close to the Red Planet, it is reoriented. The satellite's onboard rocket motor is fired for several minutes, slowing down Mangalyaan sufficiently. The gravity of Mars then captures Mangalyaan. Then In a highly elliptical orbit, it will revolve around Mars, conduct several experiments over a period of 6 months, announcing India's big leap to the world. But in case the Mangalyaan is not able to orbit Mars, it will then be lost in outer space. Well, the last part didn't happen. Thanks to them. And even China acknowledged this time that this is a jewel from Asia. This was a race with China. I'll talk about it. Annadurai will not talk about that. I will talk about that. But we did beat China to reach Mars. In the first attempt, we reached beating both US and Russia. So, incredible story.
Dr. Annadurai.
Yeah.
Requesting you to share with all of us the journey that this has been, and in the larger context, of course, of the Indian space program, the several decades you have spent with it, and also what lies in the future. And after that, we'll request for some questions.
Yeah. Thank you, both Subhadra and Pallav. This basically it is their book. I think it's their third kit. I think I can take that. I think that much pride they have whenever talking about that book is concerned. And when we are seeing that book, I think you look at here, this book and ISRO is almost synonym if you look at that. So basically look at here, it is not, many times we told, when we are making that satellite, it is more like our baby. Our baby is on the way to the moon. That's what I told, because it is our heart and soul is there, put it there when we are releasing that electronic box. So is the case when the book is concerned. The book almost narrates the similar story. It is not a Mangalyaan or Chandrayaan tomorrow Aditya going. It is more of the billion hearts are put there. Okay, it is something similar to that. And if you look at here, that human value within the organization, I think it's our forefathers of the space organization built more than the satellites, the human resource. I think there are plenty of human resources that yes, we can do. Okay, given the target is whichever the further it goes, it is achievable. I think that sort of a sense of achievement, the sense of your pride attaching to the your what you really can do. That I think they have taken us inch by inch by inch by inch. I think now it is of nearly 400 million kilometer away that has gone. And now beyond that also, Aditya also we are thinking. That's what many places when I talk with the school kids to all the way to the Melbourne University, I used the first viewgraph is the one with Pallav has given, and the destination of moon is ISRO's next big thing in 1999. And only thing we have used change. Moon was our destination in 1990s, in 2000. Slightly changed, Mars is our destination. I think now after Mars is being achieved, I think I keep telling my colleagues to make believe Sun should be our next destination. It is basically trying to reach we can and go. Basically indicating whatever we do, it is an opportunity, unprecedented opportunity given to us. I think every one of us believe. You look back, even this book itself will tell from which background I started. Up to my 10 years, I have not seen in my village, not only me, my villagers have not seen the street lights in my village. I think first 2 years, my schooling was in a cow shed. It started from there. I think from there, we are able to, it is only symbolic. When I'm sitting here along with them, I am only a symbolic of around 16,000 workforces sitting in ISRO. Okay, and from there, the humble beginning, ISRO, not only through ISRO, India allowed us to work. India given the opportunity, and that opportunity we have to give back both in terms of our assets in the space, as well as back to the schools and villages, whatever way possible. I think that's the way, even though Monday to Friday we work, this sort of Friday, Saturdays and Sundays, I think across India, opportunities are given. We are trying to see how it can be beyond ISRO. I think that's what Modi Shah also talking about here. Beyond ISRO, how it can be across India, it can be cultivated. Okay, within the schedule, within the budget, we can reach the target. I think that can be done. Every portion of the Indian context is concerned, in terms of literature, in terms of any department is possible. I think that's what he is trying to tell. Basically, the culture has been developed within ISRO. I think it's possible to multiply across India also. I think that is one of the thing this book is trying to tell. talking about how ISRO has come up and what it has achieved, possibly indicating what is there in the store for years to come. Okay, it is not just the glory of today, it will not stop there. I think definitely we are inching towards much and much further and further in the targets, and that is what we are talking about here. And that way I look at here, this book talks very, very clearly how the ISRO is working and how the culture is being developed and how possibly it can be multiplied. I think that is the idea of this book is concerned. I think if you read the book, you will come to know what is that whole glimpse is concerned.
Yeah. Dr. Annadurai didn't tell you many things. I should add a few more anecdotes which are narrated in the book. And as he said, he symbolizes the 16,000 other people at the Indian Space Research Organization. He mentioned one fact that he came from a small village and had no street lights. What he didn't tell you was this, that till he completed his master's degree, he never left the town of Coimbatore. Never left the town of Coimbatore. Joined ISRO, and where did he take India? First all the way to Moon, then he took India all the way to Mars. So believe me, guys, put your heart and soul where you want to, dream big. India has the resources, has the capability to take you where you really want to go. And this is especially to our younger audience. Believe in India. Guys, we are there. We are really there. Space and atomic energy, two areas where India is at par with the developed countries. At par. Let me also add another interesting anecdote from Dr. Annadurai's life. 2008, we did Chandrayaan-1, which was our maiden mission to the moon. Many said, as I said in the beginning, why are we going to the moon? In 1969, Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. Subsequently, more than 10 astronauts from America kicked the stones on the moon, gathered the dust, brought it back, even brought it back to my hometown in Kanpur. I saw the moon rocks. Even after all that, spending billions of dollars, it was considered that the moon is a parched, dry place. They didn't find water on the moon. Billions of dollars spent. It was left to India's Chandrayaan-1 mission, a sub-$100 million mission, less than 400 crores, which finally found water on the moon in 2009. And this is not a discovery which is not recorded in the annals of science. The world's most well-known magazine, Science magazine, had a cover story, and Dr. Annadurai is an author of that scientific paper which records India's Chandrayaan-1 finding water on the moon. But the twist in the tale for the water doesn't end here. Let me have a sip, then I'll tell you more. 2009, India's Chandrayaan-1 found water on the moon and recorded that. Changed the course of global history, saying, moon is not parched. Annadurai comes from a small village in Coimbatore called Kodavari. He became an icon. He became a change agent. When did his own village get continuous supply of water? This is incredible India. This is shining India, now called Swachh Bharat. His village got continuous supply of clean drinking water, believe me, and he will vouch for that also, in 2013. 4 years after finding water on the moon, because he became a change agent, the authorities decided to put enough resources that his village gets continuous, clean drinking water. That says a story about what a person can deliver for his own roots if he wants to. And these are stories which are all recorded in the book, and some of these stories is very hard to get from ISRO engineers. They don't tell you all of this. They'll tell you the nitty-gritty. So many parts go into a satellite, so many things move in it, how difficult it is. But it's the people who make all the difference. It's you and me. It's not the technology, it's the men and women behind the technology which make all the difference. I have a small question for you, Dr. Annadurai. We recently launched an experimental module which in future can carry Indians into space. So essentially, Indian rockets ferrying Indians from Indian soil into space. When that happens, India would become the 4th country to do it. Russia did it first, America, China did it in 2003. Since 2003 to 2015, no other country has attempted it. If next India does it, India will be the 4th country. In December, we launched a crew module. Can you tell us a little more about the human space flight program? So that is what interests everybody.
Yeah, Pallav, you look at there the space basically as of now using robotic means we are trying to understand what and how it can be utilized also. And if human is required for the outer space, technologically ISRO is trying to equip itself. In various reasons, if really a man or woman has to go to, they have to go to the space, how technically we can equip ourselves. I think that's what the 2 experiments we have done. Nearly 5 years back, experiment went, and where a satellite was put, and after a few days, it was brought back safely. And there some of the technologies, how safely we can bring back the satellite was demonstrated. Having done that, now we are trying to, whatever recently has gone is a crew module, wherein tomorrow let us assume we have to, 2 or 3 Indians have to fly outer space and safely to come back. A technology, how we can acquire, and that has been demonstrated, wherein using our GSLV Mark III version, in which the crew module, which allows 3 of the people can comfortably sit inside and have the travel outer space and come back. And how the parameters where you should be conducive enough when you are going outer space. Outer space is not as we are thinking about in Jaipur or Delhi or Bangalore type of thing. The weather conditions are different. Again, while launching also, you have a lot of vibrations the launch vehicle goes. You have to withstand this thing. And again, there is a vacuum, the hard vacuum is getting there. So the inside the crew module, you should have such a conducive environment for the humans to survive there, as long as he was there. And again, he has to bring him back safely. I think these are all the technologies to be acquired. And this particular experiment, what we have done is, humans have not gone there, but we have ensured that equivalent weight and parameters what required to be seen, controlled, monitored, and safely bringing back. The whole experiment was fairly successful. And technically, it ensures 3 Indians can to the space and come back. Technically, it is there. And tomorrow, if such a requirement is there, and further improvements may call for the launch vehicle to make a human-rated unambiguously. What is happening is when you are making, we should make sure that near 100% reliability when you are putting a man into the space and bringing him back here. So multiple such experiments repeated. But today, I think a technology is in a place where we can put the 3 persons into a space and bringing back to our Bay of Bengal and safely taking him back to the thing is concerned. It has been demonstrated.
So what it really means is, all the young people here, all of you can aspire to be the first Indian astronaut. And believe me, ISRO says the first Indian astronaut need not be a man. It could well be a woman. And anybody who's less than 20 just now can think of becoming an astronaut. I am too fat and too old to become an astronaut. But all you guys and girls, can certainly hope to become the first Indian astronaut. An Indian Sunita Williams or a Kalpana Chawla going up from Sriharikota, wow, what an achievement it would be. I'll take a minute here, a little more. I want to welcome in the audience, we have another hero from the Indian space program. We have Dr. Narendra Bhandari. Can you please stand up, sir? A round of applause. Turn around a little bit so people can see you. Dr. Narendra Bhandari is India's original moon man. He was studying about the moon during the days when America was sending the Apollo missions. He is the man who conceived the scientific experiments around Chandrayaan-1. If we found water on the moon, a lot of the credit should go to Dr. Narendra Bhandari. Amazing, amazing Indian stories. And we are blessed to have him in the audience here. He was passing through Jaipur and he said, I want to drop by. I said, the audience will love that. And please, we are blessed to have you here.
Thank you. I just wanted to, Pallav spoke about Kalpana and Sunita, and I must say, when I was writing this book and I met Dr. Unnikrishnan at the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, who was talking about the human space flight program, which is still in terms of, policy decision making, which is happening, and budgets and stuff. But, this entire vision of seeing an Indian girl, because when we speak to students, and Dr. Annadurai would again talk about this perhaps, when we speak to young people, a lot of them, for them, the space program essentially means, can I become an astronaut? Can I be that person who could actually be an astronaut who goes into space? And there's a link here, a wonderful link with the Mars mission also, because we are aware that there are several private initiatives across the world where people are now actually saying that's perhaps the next place where humans are going to colonize and actually be there. There is a lot of talk about whether Mars, the red planet, is really livable. There's a lot of course, back and forth. There are pluses and minuses. But some of the scientific questions that the Mars mission is going to ask, or is asking, is in the process of probing, are related to whether there can be life on Mars. All of us, across generations, we've grown up thinking about extraterrestrial beings. And, General Charles Bolden, who is the administrator of NASA, he says, on every flight I plan, I wonder whether we're going to come across some ET folks. So just to link this, to say that while there is the practical need of wanting to know whether there is methane on Mars, is there water, was there water, etc., there is also the link with all of us. And as Pallav said, for all our young, for our youth, the youth ki awaaz, I think it's very important for us to know that there are other dimensions of the space program. There is a space technology teaching institution in Trivandrum, which actually home grows its own BTech students who are then absorbed into ISRO. So there are these opportunities. And at this point, I'm going to request if there are any questions that all of you have. If you would just give your name and share your question. This young boy here, yeah.
Hello, my
Hi.
name is Rohan and I'm from Jodhpur. My question is, sir, do you think private space companies like SpaceX and Mars One are crucial for the progress of space travel or interstellar travel?
Thank you so much, Rohan. Just exactly what I was talking about. Dr. Annadurai.
Yeah, I think you rightly you are asking for. I think we are also keep thinking how we can go together. Basically, ISRO, as of now, it is, though we are talking about Make India, within Indian context is concerned, this is, as Pallav told, it is a heavily taxpayers' money and the government of India has done it. But now, you looking back, currently whatever the task we are coming to us, And within ISRO alone may not be possible to do that. One is the real need. Real need is multiplying number of satellites. The coming years, you can see almost every alternate month a satellite will be launched. And within ISRO, within 16,000 manpower alone may not be possible. Definitely, we ourselves, we are looking how we can work together with our own Indian industry. That is one thing. Now, then going hand in hand together, even the small satellites, already I know that a couple of youngsters in the Bangalore, within India, I think they are trying to see the small satellites, how we can be done by that. And towards that, ISRO also enabling, may not be directly, there were some of the things coming there. Over and above that, human resources need to be trained. Okay, and towards that, now basically the schools and engineering colleges, universities have been encouraged to come with their own modest satellites, which they will get trained. How? Because making a satellite is slightly different from IT technology. It is not individual, it is a teamwork, and it is interdisciplinary thing. Once that human resource knows that, and that if they know how the things are done, and that can be multiplied in a private industry. It's very much possible. I think US, it is already in a place. Europe, it is in a place, private industries. I think in India, in a very, very modest way, already in a place where the launch vehicles, a good number of private entrepreneurs are there. And I think there is a very good scope in the coming years, private industry to multiply in a bigger way. And towards that, ISRO, as already Subhadra has told, ISRO has its own dedicated university wherein it can train the people for the space industry is concerned. They can work within ISRO or outside industry is very much possible. I think the years to come, definitely both in human resources as well as industry and as well as private and ISRO working together is very much feasible.
Can I add something? My dear friend, don't look at Mars One and SpaceX. You can make your own satellite. Your school can make a satellite. It can be launched from ISRO. Have the dream. You can make a satellite. Believe me, a small smartphone, when flown in space, can become a satellite. You can do it. Just dream big. Please dream big.
Yeah.
Dr. Annadurai, panelists. My name is Saurabh. I also work for the Indian government. I work for the Indian Railways, and your achievement in that sense, I know how difficult it is to do a project in the government. So you achieving it within time and within resources, it's unbelievable. Congratulations. While I work for the railways, my passion is astrophysics. And unfortunately, I find that in Indian colleges and universities, astrophysics is not given as a subject or there is not too much research or studies going on in the area. Does ISRO have a plan, or does it do it in fact today, of collaborating with universities to incubate young minds in this area? That's my question.
Ideally, Dr. Bhandari should answer it because he is the man who incubated the program like this.
When we started off, we wanted to have more involvement of other people. So we started this planetary science and exploration program. This program is meant for providing a platform for anybody who is interested in pursuing planetary science and exploration and so on. And people are invited, people can go and work there. There is a well-equipped laboratory. There are funds available for carrying out research. There are problems given to different people. So we, very much we want more people to be involved in the projects of ISRO. And it can only succeed if there is more and more participation, more competition, more ideas come through, and more younger people, get involved. So there is a very big program and a platform for everyone to join. And whatever your expertise, actually space program is not a very specialized thing. It is a very general thing. You have astronomy, aeronautical engineering, you have mechanical engineering, electric engineering, you have physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology, everything is involved. So whatever you do, you can take a part in it, and I think you will always have a place where you can contribute.
And we have a formal institute in Trivandrum, wherein nearly 250 people per year they are taking. Half of them will be on technology, as I was told, and half of them will be science. I think it's a formal education, BTech they are getting there. After that, either if you want, they can get absorbed in ISRO. Very good option is available. Every year we are conducting an all India level entrance exam. Through that, people can, after +2, they are joining as a formal degree is allowed. And after that, job opportunity within ISRO and other places like PRL, other places joining, very well available there.
Thank you. Yeah, a few questions towards the back.
Good morning.
Hi.
I am Anita. Basically, I am science teacher. At present, what is the scenario for the students? From 9th standard, they are starting getting the coaching of the for entrance examination of IITs and NITs or medical. And parents, they are spending lakhs of rupees. After they complete their course, they are absorbed in some multinational companies. But they are not having the awareness that how the Dr. Annadurai did, that with the less cost, they can study nicely, they can do something for their country. So is it not the high time to do something at the school level so that the students are aware, they can be encouraged to go in that direction instead of just being crazy about the IITs and NITs? Thank you.
Thank you. I am going to request Dr. Annadurai again to respond to your question, because one of his passions when he is not in the clean rooms is to speak to young people. He travels across the country. He writes in Tamil. He writes popular literature for youngsters. So I will give it to him. But before that, this is also my passion. And, you know, I feel that as a society, we have not done enough of public engagement. And this is across sectors. Across sectors, you know, having good museums. क्या हालत है हम लोगों के museums की? We are very good with setting up stuff, but maintaining things, keeping an alive, interactive museum. Only those who are privileged to travel abroad have the experience of really seeing a nice, wonderful museum where they find their 5-year-olds and 10-year-olds and 15-year-old children light up, you know, because of their excitement. Similarly, I think school teachers are so driven by the curriculum and their needs every day of fulfilling the curriculum, ensuring the grades, making sure the CBSE deals are functional. I think somewhere we are. I totally agree with you. We need to work much more, and that goes for all of us. I work in the health sector. My passion is that can we have health museums, you know? We were talking about satellites being successful, but we don't have toilets for women to use across the country. We have a huge lack of nutritional food available through the integrated child development services. So we have a lot of these issues, and I think a lot more can be done by all of us, not even saying it's either by ISRO or the government or schools. Everybody needs to do much more in terms of public engagement. Dr. Annadurai.
Exactly. I think what Subhadra told, very much I concur with that. And instead of quoting anything, what I have done, I think probably I can tell that way. Very modest way. Actually, though Pallav told about that, immediately after my Chandrayaan has gone, the first work what I have done in my village, my schooling is, first to give one computer from my family. And second thing is, along with my friends, putting together a safe toilet was built for my own students in the village. That was done first time. Further things have happened. That means you also can be a change as possible. Similarly, taking further go about, today our Tamil Nadu textbook, science 10th standard textbook, contains one full chapter about astronomy, things like that, including a page indicating from where I have come. Okay, so that the student who read, nearly 1.5 million students every year they read, not only for that exams, they read a person from him, among them is able to do that. I think indicating that it is given there. So the teachers take a pride of telling about, because my father is a school teacher. Almost all the teachers of Tamil Nadu today definitely tell the family how Annadurai is brought up, how is just symbolically indicating that. That way, I think a fairly good number of awareness being built by the society, and towards that I ensure definitely the chapter has to be ensured. Probably across the in India it can be done. So once that awareness comes, another thing, as I told, already we have ISRO itself has made an institute. That institute allows after 10th standard, I think your expenditure the parents is to come to the institute only, Rest everything is taken care. Rest everything is taken care, including a assured job end of the thing. I think everything is in a place. Today everything is in a place. People should be aware of that, and that can be taken there.
Yeah, I think we have time for 2 more questions. So one here, and there's this young girl who's been putting her hand up.
Sir, my question is something which has confused me for many years. Sir, why is that when scientists are looking forward for a life or a sign of previous life on any planetary body, why do they look for conditions that are conducive to human beings like water or organics? It might be that the species that existed might not need the same requirements as humans.
Okay. Okay, this is basically the curiosity. The science is basically driven by the curiosity of something. Why we alone here? Yes, of now it looks like that. Okay, but as you told, a similar different form may be available. I think that is very much feasible. We are not telling totally it is need not be the same form what we are it is there. It is possible, but still when we have the conducive environment, basically Dr. Bhandari can further substantiate. We are trying to see whether there is a similar environment is elsewhere available. Possibility of life having there, one is there. Second thing is whatever certain done, this life, whatever the human life available is yes of now we are not found there. Okay, and if at all there is a need to multiply it, for example, whatever we are saving, we are putting in a bank. Further, it can be used for that. Okay, but something or other, this life. Another way of thinking is, if this life, if it is elsewhere, whether it can thrive, okay, for various reasons, okay. If we are keeping it, relocating ourselves from one place to another is another way of they are trying to see if whether humans can live there, okay. There is another, for example, why we are looking for, people are looking for India, that's why the America was found. But now America is one of the heavens within this place is concerned. Similarly, from our own place, 2 reasons. One is to curiosity of finding whether anything such thing is there. Second thing is, do you have any other conducive place which human life can be protected? Something happened here, there is another place available for you. There is another way of looking is concerned.
Good morning to the panel. My name is Preeti Belani. I have 2 questions. First is, do you think it is the concept of space tourism is possible in India in a couple of years? Like somebody who is not at all related to experimental physics or astrophysics can dream of going to space. Second is, since science is not very glamorous and unless someone does something as phenomenal as you did or wins a Nobel, the appreciation is not as much. So do you think it is unfair to the young doctors or engineers or scientists?
Okay, I don't think so. What is happening is it is not only for the sake of recognition people do. It is the sake of doing. Basically, whatever you get, the pleasure of doing it, and that is much more than somebody recognizes you. I think that's secondary. As far as I am concerned, it is a really secondary portion. The recognition is not the thing, but as whatever you are doing, that is out of coming here. And regarding the space tourism, I think we cannot rule out totally today. Okay, and you look at here now. I know very good young girls of my own organization doing nearly 3 or 4 month long researches in Antarctica. Antarctica is not a place to live in a conducive place, but they are doing work there. Yes, today for work point of view. Tomorrow it is definitely possible. Once allows for you to work, definitely going for that sort of thing is very much feasible. Actually, even Wright brothers, when they made that flight, actually 30,000 feet above is not a really conducive place you can fly, okay. But today you look at here when we are flying, the much more comfortable place. This technology definitely will enable once definitely the need is there. I think it is very much feasible.
Well, if you have the money, you can still fly into space. You really need to have a little bit of extra money on your pocket.
That's all.
And you can go using the Russian rockets and the Russian module. That is available. It's cost a few $1 million. Not much. There's so many rich Indians around.
Already covered. People have already reserved. That's there, done there.
So
I just have a question to Dr. Durai and Dr. Bhandari here. I am Vaibhav. I am also a software engineer. But the fact is that owing to our curriculum, the sort of curriculum that we are having, we are not exposed to the Vedic science and the Vedic texts. And sometime later, probably when we turn 27, 28, we realize that there's a lot that we are missing. So I just want to ask you, before doing such projects, do you think there's a relevance for the Vedic text and the Vedic science? And is that part of your training program too?
Okay, I am not very much familiar with the Vedic links. I think you can tell that.
Well, if you are referring to what made fairly big news in the new year related to whether Indians had planes which can fly to other planets, well, my only submission is those were thought experiments, and thought experiments have a place in life. If we can celebrate Leonardo da Vinci's drawings, which said that planes can be there, and we know that the drawings he made weren't planes which can fly, and we celebrate that. Some of the drawings which exist from our texts in ancient times also need to be celebrated for the thought experiment. Whether the materials were there and the propulsion systems were there is a fact which we will not know. But certainly, thought experiments done need to be appreciated.
So thank you, everybody. I'm sorry, I think we've run out of time. I'm going to request Dr. Annadurai to just give a closing point, and also Pallav.
Yeah. Okay, thank you the organizers and the fairly good number of youngsters, because normally my Sundays in Tamil Nadu used to be meeting the students. I think for a change, I came all the way to Jaipur. I am meeting a fairly good number of youngsters. It's really a good feeling. And towards that, I think both Pallav and Subhadra's family, thank you very much. And Dr. Bhandari also has taken a pain all the way to come over here. I know we have worked together in the 2000 that time frame about our Chandrayaan 1. Even Chandrayaan 2, I was given a very hard time. I think Manmohan Singh was going to Russia. Within that time, I should get the project report. They have taken Chandrayaan 1 4 years to make the project report. We were given only hardly 15 days. I think thanks to Dr. Bhandari, I think we made that report. Within 15 days, we made the report and got it done. And he is also around here. So basically, this indicating today's India across, without separation between north or south, east or west, across, I think we are resonating to go for next level. I think Make India is now already happening around the Mars. I think Make India can happen either way. And the Literature Festival also definitely giving such a impetus towards that. And towards that, science also finding a place. And a person like me, we're sitting in a book exhibition is definitely a good sign. I think how we are graduating, and all the dimensions are concerned. Towards that, I think I thank you very much for giving us such a wonderful opportunity. I think we will have another session in the evening also. We three are sitting together at the evening other session. Actually, informally, I was coming here and I got an opportunity to sit on this particular occasion. And once again, thank you very much for one and all.
Well, what can I say after Annadurai has spoken? Simple things. Please believe in yourself. Believe in India. Guys, we have the capability. If we went to Mars in the first shot, we can do several things. And all of you can contribute to that. Don't think it is Annadurai who has to do it. Each one of us can do it in our own special ways. If I am able to get the message across using the platforms of television, it is through satellite technology. I wouldn't be here. A lot what is happening through the Z network wouldn't happen without the Indian satellites. And believe me, you guys have been a wonderful audience. I have never seen such an engaged audience listening in about such an esoteric subject as making satellites and rockets and reaching for the stars. I thought many of you would have come thinking reaching for stars is all about Bollywood and Hollywood, because stars are there. People like Annadurai live inside closed rooms. So thanks a lot. It's been a pleasure. And if some of you want to listen in, 2:15 to 3:15, we have another session at the British Airways Baitak, where we will again talk about the mission.